From everyday choices to a global change, rethinking food waste for a more sustainable future. Hi everyone, this is Margarita Sandoval, and today I will be discussing food waste and why reducing it is one of the most practical ways to create a more sustainable future. Food waste is one of the most overlooked sustainability challenges in the world today. While millions of people experience food insecurity, a significant amount of food produced globally is never consumed. According to the United Nations Environment Program, the world wastes approximately 1.5 billion tons of food in 2022, with households responsible for the larger share of this waste. When people think about food waste, they often think about leftover food being thrown away at home. However, food waste is a much larger issue that affects the entire food system. Every piece of waste food represents waste resources, including water, energy, land, labor, and money that were used to produce, transport, and prepare that food. Food waste also contribute to the climate change because discarded food often ends up in the landfill where it produces methane, a greenhouse gas that has a significant impact on the global warming. My main argument is that reducing food waste is one of the most effective ways to promote sustainability because it conserves natural resources, reduces the greenhouse gas emissions, and help create a more efficient and resilient food system. Addressing this issue requires change in individual behavior, collaboration between the business and governments, and innovative solution based on the system thinking. But what is food waste? Food waste refers to edible food that is discarded, lost, or left uneaten throughout the food supply chain. Today, food waste occurs at every level of the food system. It is not only a problem in restaurants or households, it can happen because of production losses, transportation problems, storage limitations, retail practices, and consumer behavior food. Waste can occur at many different stages, including agricultural production, transportation, grocery store, restaurants, and households. This shows that food waste is not only an individual problem, but also a system-level challenge. When food is wasted at the consumer level, the impact goes beyond the food itself. The water used to grow the crops, the energy used to transportation, the land used for the agriculture, and the labor involved in production are also waste. This is why food waste is considered one of the global sustainability issues. The food system is interconnected, meaning that decisions made at one state can create consequences throughout the entire system. From our environmental and economic impact, we can see how producing food requires valuable natural resources such as the fresh water, fertile soil, and energy. When food is waste, these resources are used without providing their intended benefit. Economically, food waste represents unnecessary costs for households, business, and society. Money is spent producing and transporting food that is ultimately not consumed. Therefore, producing food waste can create both environmental and financial benefits. To better understand food waste reduction, I analyzed three peer review studies that approach the issue from different perspectives. One of them is the study by the Reed and Mott in 2021, focused on the economic side of the food waste reduction. The research examined different intervention strategies and found that many focus in food waste reduction programs can provide both environmental benefits and economic advantage. This suggests that the sustainability and cost effectiveness can work together. The second study by Ramos and colleagues in 2024 focused on the consumer behavior. The research found that simply measuring and monitoring household food waste can increase awareness and encourage people to reduce the amount of food they waste. This demonstrates the importance of education and personal responsibility. The third study by the Osmani and colleagues in 2021 examined circular economic approaches. Instead of treating food waste as useless garbage, these strategies recover resources by transforming waste into products such as the compost and bioenergy. Together, these studies show that reducing food waste requires multiple solutions: economic strategies, behavioral changes, and technological innovation must work together to create a meaningful process. The application of the course concept uh, addressing the food waste involves trade-off solutions such as the composting, and the food recovery programs require investment in infrastructure, transportation, and education. Sustainable decisions often require balancing environmental benefit with the economic and the social considerations. But one of the sustainable solutions is consumer education. Individuals can reduce waste by planning meal, storing food properly, and making more conscious purchasing solutions. Another solution is food recovery programs. Instead of sending unused foods to the landfills, business and organization can redirect the food to communities that need it. Composting is another important strategy because it allows organic waste to return nutrients to the soil instead of creating methane emissions in the landfills. Circular economy approach also provides the opportunity to transform food waste into valuable resources, such as the compost, renewable energy, and other useful products. In conclusion, food waste is a much more than the problem of throwing away food. It represents waste, resources, unnecessary greenhouse gas emission, economic losses, and missed opportunities to create a more sustainable food system. The research showed that reducing food waste requires a combination of strategies, including the behavior change and the economic solutions. Through my investigation, I realized that we can make this happen, we can make this change, and the future depends on us. And I feel like we can all work together to make this world a better world to live in. Thank you for watching, and this was my presentation.